We just we got their number, guys. I don't know how else to put it, but that Washington State air raid offense looked completely impotent out there tonight, and I didn't see it coming this year. Excuse me. I thought this was going to be the year where finally the air raid offense for the Cougars broke through against the Huskies, and they would actually, you know, put some points up on the board, move up and down the field, have a big game. And I know the weather probably interfered with them a little bit, but even still, we just got their number. It's a good matchup for us. Our personnel matches up. We play well against that Wazoo offense. I mean, last time I saw Wazoo play, they scored 69 points. And I know they were playing a bad team. It was Arizona, not Arizona State. That was my bad. But every other game they played this year, for the most part, they've been putting up points, and doesn't happen against us. So 28-15, Wazoo scored 2 touchdowns in this game. Gardner Minshew had sorry about that, basically no big plays this whole game. I think they had one pass play over 20 yards. They had one pass play that went for more than 20 yards. Minshew had 26 completions and 152 yards. Very, very dink and dunk. Very, very generally just ineffective. Wazoo scored 2 touchdowns. Honestly, I felt like their ground attack did just as much to our defense as their passing attack. I mean, James Williams found a couple of holes out there and had a decent game as much as they were able to get him the ball. And honestly, I didn't see it. I did not think that our secondary was going to just shut them down like this because we didn't get that much pressure on Minshew. We got some later. But there were parts of this game where he did have all day back there because we were rushing 3 guys and still they just couldn't get points up on the board. And again, I know the weather. It was raining and then it was raining harder and then it was snowing and then it was snowing hard. That's not good for what the Cougars want to do, but the weather was not good a week ago when they scored all those points against Arizona. So it's not that simple. Great game by the defense, obviously. You hold Wazoo to 13 points because, 2 of their points came off the blocked PAT. We held the Cougars to 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns in a 60-minute football game where they were going at it the whole game, man. We picked off Minshew twice. BBK, monster game, recovered a fumble, got a pick. I hope he's okay because I know he got hurt at the end, and it looked like it could be serious. We got a couple more games to play. Really, really hoping that BBK can go, but I don't know if that looks likely at this point. Just a great game by the whole defense, man. We even later in that game we were starting to get pressure on Minshew, even though we were rushing 3 guys. So what can you say other than you can't do much better? Offensively, effective, efficient. Gaskin. Offensive player of the game for sure. 170 yards on the ground. The 80-yard touchdown run that basically broke the game open. At that point, I was like, we're going to win. I wasn't sure until then. And honestly, even before that, I was feeling pretty good because I just didn't see it from that air raid offense of the Cougars. So it was still a significant touchdown. 3 touchdowns. He's probably the best running back in the history of the Washington Huskies program. Another year, another 1,000 rushing yards, another just dominant performance in the Apple Cup. He might be one of the greatest Huskies in history in terms of his Apple Cup performances because he's been running all over the Cougars ever since he got here, basically. So Browning, as this game went on, the weather got bad, so he basically stopped throwing. He threw the one pick in the red zone, which was bad to start the game. I mean, we had the opportunity to run away with this game early, kind of, and that end zone pick really kind of ruined that for us, but he played fine. Hunter Bryant. Oh my God, guys. I knew we missed Hunter Bryant. I'm not a moron. I knew he was a big part of what we wanted to do this year, and not having him out there sucks. But, I mean, I don't even think he's 100% right now. And Hunter, That dude is a real talent. And if he's 100% healthy next year for, whatever we end up doing at quarterback, it's huge. So, yeah, big game for Hunter Bryant. Baselli had a good game as well. Let's see here. Ahmed, he looked good. Ahmed ran all over the Cougar defense whenever he got the opportunity to. Busted off a couple of pretty good runs. Offensive line, they were subbing like Trey Adams in and out a little bit, and they still held up. No complaints with the way the offensive line played. Just a great game. And maybe great game is not exactly the term that a lot of people would use because, I get it. It is a 28-15 win on the road against your rival, against, a Cougar team that we all understand is very good, but it certainly wasn't a blowout like last year or the year before. But for this team against this opponent, that's about as good as I can hope for. I'm happy. I am completely happy. And, we're one win away from winning this conference. We got to go beat Utah. We certainly can beat Utah. We've already done it. I'm not afraid of anything that Utah does. I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, they can pass all over us or we can't move the ball on them or nothing. It's just another game. And I'm not saying the Pac-12 this year is a very good conference. In fact, it's probably a very bad conference. But if we win it, I will be thrilled with that. So shout out to the seniors. Shout out to, that crew of players. Browning, Gaskin, all these guys who have been here for the last several years who have now swept the Apple Cup. Browning has won every Apple Cup he's played in. Gaskin has won every Apple Cup he's played in. I don't think any other Husky quarterback has ever won 4 Apple Cups. So I know the Cougars were not a great team in a few of those years, but they were a really good team last year, and they were a great team this year. So it means something. All right, I'm going to watch the end of this Blazers-Warriors game. I'll talk about the Seahawks tomorrow. And maybe I'll stream Zodiac Age tonight. I don't know. You can come check me out on Twitch if I do. If I don't, then see y'all tomorrow.